again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't fool me again.
What we gonna eat no money, what we at you, eat no at you. Covid money, miss away in the your little rat you. Use the youth, the money, waste for must a man to statue. Say me like a catch you, but bigger than a figure you. Take the spit of money, girl, and say that it's not you. One day the man above end up, him a got a bet. Too much it in the kitchen, some a fly well like a pat too. My singers and DJs and social media's coming at you.
It burn me.
300% raise.
It burn me.
Garbage pile of the day.
It burn me.
Give the teacher them raise.
It burn me.
I see corruption face.
It burn me.
Mash down the people them house.
It burn me.
Every day appear arms out.
It burn me.
Appear money them a thief.
It burn me.
And them a sell out with each.
Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't fool me again.
Come me say big up all the charities and all of the givers. Some a go like say them powerful, me no make a bigger. The urgent the promises, none of them not deliver. Cut up the youth, they rap and they down in our river. Member bold money and they lie them tell. Corruption smell and they pocket them swell. When police don't a market like Satan out of hell, go mash up people start like thief when them sell.
It burn me.
Or they treat the market man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat the cat man.
It burn me.
Or they treat the peanut man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat the dirt man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat the son man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat policeman.
It burn me.
Or them a treat soldier man.
It burn me.
How them a treat everyone.
Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again.
Stevie dim day. We in Global TV says certain kind of friend we no cape. And some informer friend we love lake. We in Global, bona fake friend and bona tape. We in Global, we not promote them, we not support them. Look at them on the cheek, come here represent for. We in Global TV, check it.
Good morning. If you're in London and the United Kingdom, good afternoon and welcome to your At a Glance program. This is Global TV Group. Sorry about my absence last night. My head there pained me, so we couldn't bother with the talking with the pain ahead. To my community party and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewers and subscribers, commenters and trolls, good morning, good afternoon, and welcome. Natalia Freeman, Debbie Jarvis TV, Beat and Teach, Yvonne Bradford, RJ, Yvonne Riley, Sonia Johnson, Sunshine, Ruby, Michelle Lewis Wilson, The Unstoppable One, Pauline, Elaine, Williton, Sharon, Jason, Abena, Georgia, Keith, Agency, Wagwan, Bros, Mary Messenger, Veteran, big up yourself, Keith, Althea, Errol Brown, Millicent, Georgette. Good morning, Annie Jones. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Thank you all for joining us. You may look at my thumbnail and say, what a weft of confusion. It is deliberate. Angela 48 how you do? When me done, me heading straight out a road, Carleen Jones. Go get the last 2 weeks of weather in England, cause soon shut off, then soon turn off the weather pipe. So, we have to sup it up. Quite deliberate. Raja Wagwan. Quite deliberate is the confused looking of my thumbnail this morning, because it is how I am feeling since the Prime Minister started speaking on Monday morning, in particularly to this Clarendon situation. Quite confusing. Somebody's at my door. Can you give me 1 minute, please?
Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scandal, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. Hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't fool me again.
What we gonna eat no money, what we at you, eat no at you. COVID money, miss we eat the your little rat you. Use the youth, them on them, Mr. Mustaman, statue.
Sorry about that. Thank you for holding on. I did have to tend to my neighbor. Right. Confused found the Prime Minister start talk since this incident happened. I am really confused about it. No word of a doubt. But we will come back to this graphics. And we will go back to the Prime Minister's utterances also. We have to say la 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 this morning. But that's why I'm telling you, it's important to listen to la 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 sometime. Bite the bullet. Step on a big toe like on a sit uppy. It's important to listen to how this fool thinks. In can care we go yasso. In can care we go deso. Round deso. And then just leave with dangling over this or so. Don Fox. Monica Wills. Is how this fool speaks to us at time. This fool proves to us since Monday as well that he needs a bed at Bellevue where 21 can hold you. Because we don't want you going to private or foreign facility. We want you to go Bellevue. Go near dry bread and bird shit callaloo. Because that will feed the people them in a hospital. So that we want you to go Bellevue, go near Ladybug. Because it is quite open and clear now that the Prime Minister have mental health problem. You do not need the Prime Minister, Yvonne Johnson, to be psychiatrically assessed. For no say, this year Prime Minister gone cuckoo. Is only in a cuckoo state of mind that you would have so much mouth applying to one situation within a 24-hour period. Mouth after mouth after mouth after mouth. Gather mouth, gather, gather mouth, gather is how this Prime Minister deals with situation. Gather mouth, gather. One man government, minister of everything government. It was declared yesterday that this prime minister is mentally ill. A mad people alone talks of prime minister. No disrespect to people with mental challenges. No, Pamela, my head there hurt me last night. What go on? Evan Green, what go on? Yesterday proved, said the prime minister gone compass Mentos. A compass Mentos alone switch up so within hours. Dulce Margana don't know where do me. Maybe I don't take my pill them yet, you see. Probably have not taken the pills yet, Dulce. But I don't think I am Kukudo as the prime minister. If you jump out Monday and say, look here, see it there. And then the prime minister jump out Wednesday, Dulce, and say, hey, help me sign it. Dulce, that's madness. That's Kuku Dolali. Ism. That's knee-jerk. Ism. That's bad man. Ism. I am feeling much better now. It's probably dehydration. I don't think I had enough fluid yesterday. So something wrong. I wonder if you understand family, Dulce. Something wrong with the Prime Minister, Marcia Este. And we must say it. But let us go over to the JCF. You've all seen this image. Cheryl Benjamin. But let's go back to about 20 years. The Prime Minister declared war because an assault is a declaration of war. It's an offensive and gangs. No problem with that because we have a sweltering issue with gang crime in our country, but we're going to get deeper into that. But these abused images you see on screen, for those of you, if you remember the Iraq War and the Abu Ghraib scandal that came out in the media with the abuse of the British and the American servicemen, of detainees. If you hear a knocking, some work is going on above me in my neighbor's apartment. So if you hear any knocking, bear with me on that. These were abused images from the Abu Ghraib detention center by British and US service personnel. Illegal act of war. Brenda Elson. Can you all tell me if you're hearing a knocking sound? Illegal act of war. Physical abuse. Sexual humiliation. Bear that in mind. Sexual humiliation. Physical and psychological torture. Rape, as well as killing a detainee. These images were sexual and psychological humiliation. Elijah, wagwan. These images were sexual and psychological humiliation. tantamount to a declaration of war using illegal war tactics in policing in Jamaica. Under no circumstances, this must be accepted for even our criminals. Because if we accept this for our criminals, it won't be too long before our innocent children, law-abiding Jamaicans, will be in this very position. When the Prime Minister talked about the terrorism the other day, the Prime Minister spoke about protecting our fundamental rights. You hear me from the other day when the Prime Minister made the declaration, the Easy Jerk World, Wagwan Bro, EM, Dwayne Hutchins, Debs. When the Prime Minister declared the incident as a terror incident, I became fearful of what will come next. We have a state of emergency declared in Clarendon that was expected, came a bit dangling, one would say, than Miles. But the Prime Minister, if you remember, made a declaration of assault and gangs across the country. Now, one could ask from these images coming out, is it a declaration of war, Prime Minister? Because these are illegal tactics of war being deployed here. Sexual and psychological humiliation. These are illegal practices of war. We must not, under any circumstances, accept this type of policing on the street of Jamaica. Under no circumstances, these sexual and psychological humiliation in policing in Jamaica must not be accepted for the worst criminal. Because if it is accepted, Ralston, Ubuntu, for our worst criminals, it won't be too long before your innocent children will be handcuffed and bogged down like this on the street of Jamaica. Won't be long before they start raping them. Remember, Black River Police raped a woman last year. Sexual and psychological humiliation, outlawed by war convention. This was why these Abu Ghraib service people who were caught on camera carrying out all these abuses at the Abu Ghraib detention center in Iraq were kicked out and were sent to prison. And this was in war. This is policing a democratic country. Jamaica, you don't see where it is going. This is policing in a democratic country. And you don't see the danger of the Prime Minister declaring terrorism, declaring state of emergency, and then instantly we see abuse of war on our street. And don't see what's coming next. An assault on our gangs doesn't say you should arrest them and humiliate them. You arrest them, you carry them to the processes of the law. There's provision for that, Elder Fletcher, Norman Ferguson. There are provisions for that. But these disgraceful war images on our street is a threat to all of us rights and liberty. So if we don't want to stay there and think to say, because them a criminal and them a gunman, isn't Harris Chang a gunman? Isn't the same police them will carry out these practice on the illegal gunman as well? If you all accept this, prepare to live with it. If you accept this for the criminal class, why is this not applied to Horace Chang? Why is this not applied to Bobby Montague? Why not Darrell Vaz? Why not James Robertson? They're all criminals too. They're all criminals too. Why the police don't treat them like this? Look how much Andrew Thief out of the country from Ministry of Education come right up to government. Look how much Faval Thief. Look how much Warrell Reed Thief. Should we bog them down on the street like this and stuff their face in another man's bum? Look how much Babsy thief. Look how much gun Babsy buy. Give gangster, get one order. Look how much car Babsy rent, get one order. Should this behavior apply to Babsy Grange? Should this behavior apply to Horace Chang? We're bringing AK-47 illegally by the container. Jamaicans, wake up. Wake up. You don't even see what is coming. Since 2022 rather, this government is militarizing the country around you. This government is doing everything to plunge you into fear. And what wanna do? Wanna plunge more and more into fear. Of course, the government is going to try to take more of your powers and your rights. They use this classic term of national security to help them to get over the fence of that. But you, the people, though, are the barrier where you don't have an opposition nor a judiciary or a justice system to stand against a crooked and tyrannical government. The last line of defense is you, the docile people. You, the docile people who sit in church clapping your hands and giving offering. Yes, you, the docile people who is on street demonstrating for the worst of us. Yes, you, the docile lot. Jamaica is going to face a rude awakening because 90 to 80% of you on the island have no clue geopolitically where your country is at. None of you understand the changing of polarity on the planet. We're moving out of a unipolar world into a multipolar world where everybody will have like a power, a fight for land and resources, and what is called the developing and third world countries. Them the one day, everybody a fight and a jostle over them. Them use puppet like Andrew Holness and William Ruto to achieve their aims. But you have to dumb down and docile and control the people for them foreign master. Get them aim. It's a jostle between, does America continue to control us, or do we get controlled by the rising power of China and Russia in a multipolar world? You don't understand where this thing is going. I want to just sit down so on social media and continue on with peace, sodery, and madry. And nobody is concerned that Jamaica is about to go up in smokes. You don't think me mad? Wait till it happen. Blue waves. You don't think me mad? Wait till it happen. You don't see where this country is going. The Prime Minister declared an incident, a terror incident. The Prime Minister declared an assault and gangs across the country. Within hours of that happening, we see the tactics outlawed by the convention that governs war on our street in Jamaica. And Jamaica people don't see what is happening. Uno don't see where it's going. Hey, if we accept it for the worst of us, it will affect the best of us. This is something that we must stand up and fight against. Fight against. We can't accept them abuse there from the state. These are not accepted in war. Rennie Nicholson, how are you? I don't know, says a batty up government because I soon go to the other batty fish. That one, yeah. I soon go to the another batty fish there. I want everybody to rub up to Andrew the way him rub up to Cliff and Andrew. Apka Fitzhenley. Apka Fitzhenley. Remember how you get a job at Nationwide and how you reach the government. But we now got accept war upon we street. Because if uno declare war upon we street, Apka Fitzhenley, uno going to have to stay in it for the long haul. So be careful. But let's listen to the Liad minister.
Here is a total assault on gangs in Jamaica. I want that to be clearly understood. Operationally, they must go after every gang in Jamaica. The gangs that have been identified as being directly responsible for this action are connected with other gangs. And so we must pull the thread to where it leads. So today, every gang leader should take with themselves. Giving them succor and protection. We must use this as an opportunity to draw the line finally in the sand and to separate the gang. The gangs are not merely youngsters who are poor and dispossessed. If you have that view, you are under a disillusion. You're misguided. The gangs are, some of them, second and third generation, meaning that they have transitioned from just street-level operations to higher-level coordinated activities to transnational, and some of them have transitioned into business. The gangs are organized economic enterprises. They parade as if they are in the community to protect you, but no, that's not what they're there for. They are there to use your community as cover to carry out illegal activities and to make profit from disillusion. Your misguidance goes beyond 380 gangs. Over the last 2 years, we have eroded that down to about...
Let me correct the Prime Minister upon something. When you say the gang them in your community like them dead if you protect you, blah, blah, blah. Here, yeah, that was a policy of the Jamaica Labour Party government. Check your history from 1974 to 1980, Prime Minister. It was the history of your government at that time that became the norm in our politics, Prime Minister.
185 active gangs. Our actions have been yielding results. This incident runs against the trend of what we have been doing. But what it shows is that even as we are degrading the gangs, that the ability for gangs to organize and arm themselves and produce violence that goes beyond the victim to affect a nation, that capability still exists, and therefore we must intensify our operational intelligence and strategic stance to further erode and eliminate gangs from our society.
It's difficult to believe that we're standing at a crime scene. When you look around, it's like any community in Jamaica. This could have been anywhere. A few meters from where I'm standing, a car drove up. The men alighted from the car. One high-powered automatic weapon, which has been certified to be an MC.
Now, tell you how this man controlling and take over everybody's job. Now, in a press conference, this would never be explained by a prime minister. The prime minister or the president is not even required to be on this scene. Hey, cool. The Minister of Debt and Gun Smuggling, Dr. Harris Chang, Fitz Bailey, Kevin, and Stephanie was enough for this press conference. Juliet Cuthbert Flynn, is this not politicizing by your prime minister? Hey, I'm talking about politicization.
16, obviously by virtue of the recovered spent shells, and handguns were used. There may be the view that this was a drive-by. So I want to dispel that from the public consciousness. The men, by the reports we have received, alighted from the car, walked a few meters to this establishment, and they pursued
Darling Prime Minister, when I
individuals
turn up one place,
and
you move
killed,
from department to
including
department.
an 8-year-old youngster who was just killed right behind that car there. They then went back in the vehicle, went further down into the community, came out of their vehicle again, pursued individuals, and one person was killed. So I want it to be understood that this is not what you would describe as a regular criminal act of a drive-by, and even that should never be described in that way. But this is an act calculated to deliver the highest level of terror. And that is what made me today convene the National Security Council to discuss a criminal act that would not necessarily attract the attention of the National Security Council. But the nature of what was done, and of course what
Andrew just said to you here, only crimes that give me political leverage matters. Listen, the man. Only crime that gives me political leverage and notoriety that warrants this type of outrage warrant immediate attention from government and state security. Una don't think Andrew mad? If una don't know, say, me no need the psychiatrist to declare Andrew mad. Andrew mad out time out. Cause me have ears. Me have ears, so me know Andrew mad out of his mouth.
we know about the connections that are involved in this would make me, as the chairman of the National Security Council and Minister Chang as Minister of National Security, take a very deep look at this problem of organized armed violence. and the role that gangs play in the organization, the arming, and the producing violence affecting innocent.
What role does Chang and Babsy play in all this, Prime Minister? What role does Chang, primarily, what role does Horace Chang and Babsy Grange play in the arming of gangs, Prime Minister? Don't come out away. Go out all away. Why you come after downtown? What about uptown, Prime Minister? Uptown I buy the guns them, you know. Uptown Prime Minister. You remember Horace Chang with that container of 200 AK-47 in flankers, Prime Minister. You remember those 3 coaster buses that came to the scene, Prime Minister, loaded up with AK-47, shipped around the country, Prime Minister. What role does Horace Chang and Babsy Grange play in the arming and financing of gangs across the country? Because you, Prime Minister, allude and told us that poor people picnics and thing them, yeah. There's an upper echelons, there's involved too. What role does Babsy Grange, Horace Chang, Bruce Golden, what role do they play in arming criminals?
People. We have, over the last 4 years, invested heavily in the investigative capacity of the JCF. And I don't have to go into the examples of the incredible work that the major investigations and other units of the JCF, led by the great work of DCP Bailey, would have done in solving all kinds of crimes. In 2023,
oh yes, we remember a few great works of Fitz Bailey, like when he sat down and concocted how we're going to come and tell you that a man was murdered in the Prime Minister's attorney's house, stabbed 22 times, shot as well. No breaking and entry, but the good works of our very own Fitz Bailey. Hobble skirt, of first Missy Hobble pants. Hobble skirt, we can't open him legs. Fitz Bailey told us no breaking and entry, and nobody in Patrick Bailey's house murdered Jermaine Jr. It was this same, the good works, the great work, Prime Minister, of this same Fitz Bailey, who, after having the postmortem evidence that Mr. Orville Moore, Reverend Orville Moore, was murdered, Fitz Bailey sat on camera and Fitz Bailey told us that there is no foul play. It turns out, Fitz Bailey, that the only way Orville Moore's car could have got over that bit of Spurtree Hill where it was found, an helicopter, particularly or more likely a JDF helicopter, would have to assist in dropping him and his car over there. The dead man who committed suicide, Fitz Bailey. Oh yes, we remember, Prime Minister, the great works of Reverend Fitz Bailey. Of course, you think we're a fool. We look like fool to your Prime Minister. And I could tell you about many other great works of Fitz Bailey, but those two are not distant memory for us, Prime Minister. We remember the great work of Fitz Bailey, who colluded to murder Reverend Orville Moore and dropped him over Spurtree Hill. Yes, we remember Fitz Bailey's great work, Prime Minister, you think we're deaf? You think we're blind? You think some are we not? You think some now look, the rest of we now look? We're not. We remember the great work of Fitzbailey, who colluded to murder another reverend, colluded to murder another reverend. You couldn't make this up anywhere else but except in Jamaica. The Reverend Fitzbailey, who conspired to murder Reverend Arville Moore and came out in the public and told us there was no foul play. That was great work coming from Fitzbailey, Prime Minister. Great work.
I described a similar event as a terror event where a gangster in Mount Salem in St. James with a high-powered weapon opened fire on a public passenger.
Rather than using the word gangster, Prime Minister, because it's a psychological remedy. You hear how much time you talk about gang and gangster in your sentence, in your speech. Make it easier, Prime Minister, by speaking about our colleagues. Why don't you speak about your colleagues? Aren't you all the same? I want to arm them, fund them, buy and rent car, get them. Why don't you speak about your colleague, Prime Minister? Why you single them out like they're any different and separate from you, Babsy Chang, Montague, Robertson, and all the other criminals, Prime Minister, all the other gangsters who armed the garrisons? Why you single them out from UNO? Say your colleagues and talk about gangs and gangsters. What do you say with colleague? Young DT World, Wagwan, Brittany L. When you talk about a colleague, well, we get it more. But when you come out and talk about gangster, we wonder, who them attack? Which one of the Jamaica them attack? Which side of Jamaica gangster them attack? About Prime Minister, when you say with colleague, it come true clear and plain as day. Don't slide bat.
Vehicle, killing 3 persons, including 2 youngsters. And at that time, I spoke stridently and I made a commitment to their mothers. I visited them personally and to their other family members that we would capture and bring to justice those persons who are involved. And that was done within a few weeks. So I want the criminals who are involved in this to take my words very seriously. I am personally looking on all areas of the organization to ensure that all the resources necessary from the state, whether it is the financing, whether it is the international cooperation, whether it is the legislative support, will be made available to the security forces to pursue this relentlessly. They must either meet a judge or meet their maker, whichever they choose. But Jamaica cannot countenance this kind of crime where people feel they have the impunity.
Right. The meet their judge or their maker have become a controversy. Let's listen to this.
We take note of the comments by Jamaicans for Justice indicating that some umbrage is being taken to the comments by the Prime Minister that perpetrators of acts of brutality should either be taken before a judge or meet their maker. I encourage the Jamaicans for Justice to be careful about the message it is sending to perpetrators of violent crime. Now is a time the Jamaican society is looking for unity.
Lord Jesus, I don't even know if I can done. Listen, stay calm this morning. Stay calm this morning. Dun, 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 dun. Why you don't go tell Babsy or Horace Jack? You tell Jamaicans for Justice, so them for caution what them say out of them mouth. Hey. The poof are over nationwide. We poof him way into government, then poof him way over into the poof him way into the Senate, then poof him way into the Prime Minister's office. Say, Jamaicans for justice, for mind them mouth when them talk. Why you don't go tell Babs say, mine or your arm, the little boy them, for kill one another. Mine or you buy car them, get the little boy them, for go drive down and kill one another. Why you don't tell Horace Chang say, mine as security minister, or you arm the country with illegal gun, or you are the head of the Stones Crusher gang. Or one set of people no want to take set pants. So when people stand up for justice and human rights, how come the labor right them jump out so? PNP, ooh, PNP. When you don't hear nothing, see nothing while going. Everything a labor around everything now. PNP just left labor for mash up the country. So PNP not even knock pan around the country and say, here ya, look ya. See the danger ya. Well, Apka Fitz-Henley cannot tell Jamaicans for justice, say, mind your bloody mouth.
We take note of the comments by Jamaicans for Justice indicating that some umbrage is being taken to the comments by the Prime Minister that perpetrators of acts of brutality should either be taken before a judge or meet their maker. I'd encourage the Jamaicans for Justice to be careful about the message it is sending to perpetrators of violent crime. Now is a time the Jamaican society is looking for unity and support for strong action to be taken against criminals who are preying upon communities and terrorizing law-abiding citizens.
We will never have unity in a country led by a criminal. The Jamaica Labour Party was instituted in Jamaica by the CIA as a criminal regime to overthrow communism or socialism in Jamaica. So Jamaica, APCA, Duns, Komiaso, Fitz-Henley cannot have unity under a gangsterized-led Jamaica. It will not happen. When you stop talk around the people, them top talk sideways, them top talk over them. It will not happen. The country has been led by a criminal gang at the moment. What else do you expect, Apka Fitz-Henley? Look how dunce a prime minister is running our country all by himself. We don't see no. From where they who not in a hospital are mad in a hospital are dead, or under bushel, or behind a rock hiding. Oh, we're going to pull on out, we don't know. The prime minister one, though, has taken over the country. Everybody blind to it. PNP dull. Dull PNP, where even if you rub two PNP together like two knives, it never cut an orange. Dull. And you want to take up the whole country and run away with it. And nobody not there for help. Murder, help, run, come here, come look upon disgrace.
I believe it's a no-brainer that people who are willing to pump bullets using M16 weapons into men, women, and minors. A 1-year-old was shot. An 8-year-old was gunned down. They will not hesitate to take on the security forces when in fact they are engaged. And therefore the comments by the Prime Minister was quite in order that individuals who carried out this act of savagery should either be taken before a judge or meet their maker. I'd encourage JFJ to be careful that it is developing into a rogue organization and the messages that they are.
The Jamaican for Justice must mind their mouth because they might turn into a rogue organization. Said from the Prime Minister's office. The Prime Minister's office said to you, you the people of Jamaica, the Prime Minister is saying to you that an organization who speaks out against the abuse of human rights in Jamaica is a rogue organization. Do you understand that, Jamaicans, to the context of declaration of terror? Do you understand that? It means that if we shut, we mouth. Free speech gone. Free speech gone, Jamaica. The Prime Minister sent out Apka Fitzhenley, come tell Jamaica Justice, shut your mouth, you rogue organization. Let me declare war. Let me declare war on the people of Jamaica. Let me abuse the rights of the people of Jamaica. You are a rogue organization if you speak out on my abuse. On my abuse of the people of Jamaica by state agency, you never see the how much a ton of vehicle the Prime Minister send in a quick step where they figure abuse a sovereign community with phone tax money or the whole on a ton of blind eye to hit. Jamaicans for Justice must mind their mouth. I hope Jamaicans for Justice respond to this. I don't want to call it what I want to call it. But I hope Jamaicans for Justice have a robust response. When Apka Fitzhenley shut down, the Prime Minister shut down on freedom of speech in Jamaica. Because when the Prime Minister is going to tell an organization who speaks for your rights, who speak out against the Prime Minister draconian practices, the rogue organization must mind how them talk. Jamaica, I don't think you must stop taking these things lightly. These are very dictatorial. A whole country become dictator. A whole tyrant like Andrew Holness, the Hitlerize, the Benjamin Netanyahu of Jamaica. Jamaicans, you're coming into a rude awakening. Because over there, so I do everything but focusing on how the iron grip of this government has been tightening on you and stripping your rights and freedoms at the same time. Hullabaloo is coming.
Conveying into the public domain, which appear supportive of criminality. I have deep respect and regard for the institution that is Jamaicans for Justice. We take note of the comments by Jamaicans for Justice indicating that some umbrage is being taken to the comments by the Prime Minister that perpetrators of acts of brutality should either be taken before a judge or meet their maker. I'd encourage Jamaicans for Justice to be careful about the message it is sending to perpetrators of violent crime. Now is a time the Jamaican society is looking for unity and support for strong action to be taken against criminals who are preying upon communities and terrorizing law-abiding citizens. I believe it's a no-brainer that people who are willing to pump bullets using M16 weapons into men, women, and minors. A 1-year-old was shot. An 8-year-old was gunned down. They will not hesitate to take on the security forces when in fact they are engaged. And therefore the comments by the Prime Minister was quite in order that individuals who carried out this act of savagery should either be taken before a judge or meet their maker. I'd encourage JFJ to be careful that it is developing into a rogue organization and the messages that they are conveying into the public domain, which appear supportive of criminality. I have deep respect and regard for the institution that is Jamaicans for Justice, which was founded by Carolyn Gomes, that has done good work of presenting a voice for the voiceless, being advocates in cases including Agana Barrett and Michael Gale. But I'd caution the current leadership of the organization to assess the space because the Jamaican society is not in a mood where we are prepared to send mixed messages in terms of how people who perpetrate violent crimes in communities are to be treated within the
Jamaicans, I may take this for joke, but this is very serious. Apka Henley say shut your mouth. But wait there. We hear your time out. Not that. With the graphics there. We remember the Prime Minister stood at the podium and the Prime Minister told us we know what the criminal them there. The crime was committed on Sunday night. By Monday morning, the Prime Minister jump out a road and him tell we a whole lot of intelligence, which would lead one to ask the question, how much did they know before the incident? If Fitzhenley's father is an intellectual, Fitzhenley never learned anything. Fitzhenley have never read any of the book that his intellectual daddy have in the house. Never heard any of the intellectual conversation that his daddy would have had. Never learned anything from him daddy. So, remember, Fitzhenley is a mouthpiece. Remember, Fitzhenley was over mouthpiece and him knee or back him way up to the Senate. Then the Prime Minister said, this is hyperbole. Then the Prime Minister said, we don't like Otam Tavares a touch you up. So the Prime Minister moved him far out of the Senate into fame office. You know, the Prime Minister have a lot of young man in them office who him like to touch up. I must touching up a one. Make everybody you draw in your office so kind of one. Nobody barring you touch up them. But the Prime Minister said, we know say some that are foreign, we know say some in a prison, and we know say some that on road. Come here, upper class, the other side of Jamaica, come here, I see a pattern. High society Melissa Silvera was murdered brutally, and the whole on high class, high society Jamaica turned a blind eye. Oh, yes, you all did. Never looked like one on an echelon ship was murdered brutally. Another of on an echelon ship was murdered brutally again. This time, similarly to others, just after a major drugs bust. What is the relation between drugs bust and dangerous murders in our country? Why everybody are talking about Clarendon and nobody remember say one businessman was murdered in Kingston, in St. Andrew? Nobody remember say $12 billion worth of cocaine was found at Havendale. And over that the side of Jamaica, camera no dede, intelligence no dede, policing no dede, nobody no dede for arrest. Yes, over that side of Jamaica, media no dede for tell you nothing but over that side of Jamaica. But then come over few side of Jamaica, you see, and them a walk and them a talk. The Prime Minister said he know where the criminal them over few side of Jamaica there. But then the Prime Minister come back to us yesterday with a brand new story
of this criminal act. up to a maximum of $1.5 million per person. We're particularly interested in the facilitators and the organizers. The facilitators, those who provided the weapons or gave access to the weapons and ammunition, access to the motor vehicle, organized, made the telephone calls, made the connections. We are particularly interested in those persons. We will give a reward for the provision of information and intelligence leading to the recovery of the firearms that were involved in this killing. We're particularly interested in that and any information on the networks involved in the supply of those firearms. And we will provide $5 million for the supply of information and intelligence resulting in the securing of evidence, any form of evidence, against the gangs that were involved in this operation. Lastly, we will provide a fund of $5 million leading to the arrest and charge for anyone harboring the criminal gangs or their associates. A maximum of $800,000 per person identified. So this is a $25 million fund that is aimed at increasing the pace at which information is flowing in for the investigation.
Clarendon people, wake up. Wake up. It's the second time them create a major bloodbath in a Clarendon. Rushed Barnett, Cherokee, Cocoa Peas. It's the second time them create catastrophe in a Clarendon for politicization, for distortion. Jamaica, wake up. Clarendon people, wake up.
Investigation. This fund will be under the administration of the Ministry of National Security, and the traditional methods of providing information can be used, but any method that you use to get the information in, once it is for.
Right. Everything the Prime Minister said here, it is what declared the Prime Minister's mental status. The Prime Minister come out Monday, can't tell we say him know who them be. Wednesday, the Prime Minister come out and offer with money for tell him who them be. Does it make sense? Are we not being played, Lorraine? Leonora, sorry, Kelly. Are we not being played? The Prime Minister, sorry, came out and make a bold statement on Monday that would lead you to think that the Prime Minister has a plethora of intelligence to work through. The same Prime Minister came back to you on Monday, and on Wednesday rather, and is offering you millions to tell him who they are. Oh boy. Bellevue patient. The Prime Minister came out on Monday and told us, I know the foreign one them, I know the prison one them. So you have to know the one them pass street to Prime Minister. And we see, so you know, you stood behind the government bully pulpit and said it. and you wrinkle up your face and you bad up yourself and you tell we say if you don't walk into the judge, me I go push on in a coffin. I use it so. I use send out Apcafix and come tell Jamaican for justice say shut your mouth. Mine or you give courage to them criminal yeah. Are you say Prime Minister? Then the Prime Minister came back on Wednesday, issuing out $25 million. So we tell him who commit the crime. And honor don't see the game. Honor don't see the game. If honor don't see, just stay blind. Stay blind. Can me now go take razor blade, cut eye in on no face. And me now go take razor blade, cut out the eye in on no center your forehead neither. No, stay blind if you want to stay blind. Don't see if you don't see. Don't hear if you don't hear. So the Prime Minister told us on Monday, he know what the foreign one them be. He know what the one them behind bar be. But on Wednesday, the Prime Minister come out and give you 25 issue out in just a dash out. So Nigerian said, dash you 25 million. The Prime Minister dash us 25 million to tell him who he know. So what you want to do? You want to go call back for your name? You know want in the mix up with the gang them say you go call their name. You never the go foreign go call some of them name to America. In Prime Minister. So if you call their name to America and they never do nothing, call them name to Jamaica police, sir. Where you get we in the mix up for? For them come kill we after that say we are in farmer. What happened to you? Nobody don't see where this thing is going. From when I tell you the declaration of terror, watch the space. Watch the space. You might go sleepwalk and creep right into danger if you don't open an eye and look where this government is taking our country, where this government is taking justice and truth and rights in our country. Everybody just shut their eyes up. Broke down light posts that all over the country. See ya? See one corporate manslaughter, yeah. This is a corporate manslaughter. This is a corporate manslaughter. And JPS must be taken to the courts. This on screen you see here, we played the video for you before. Let me see if I find the video quickly. This is corporate manslaughter by JPS, where nobody not there for help with what we have got through with this government. We just left and we own so for suffer. I think that video is not single. It is in a slot, and I don't remember which slide it is in. But you remember the story of that man in Clarendon who was riding his bike and light post fall down upon him, electrocute him lose a hand and a foot, and his kidneys shut down. He was in hospital. Lord God, which slide? I didn't put this video individually in the studio. It's part of a slide. Hold on there. And nobody, no look left nor right. Nobody look left nor right. The man now succumbed to his image, to the effect.
See what
This
happened
morning, me I come with my wife and my
right
daughter,
at
me pray
seaside.
them. Yeah. This is what
May I move through till me find it, me play it. And nobody in a JPS government or nowhere cared about what happened to the family. This you
Twin
see on
party.
screen happened in my community of Party,
Yeah.
but JPS
God
no
say,
reach
we know
yet.
that.
Month and after the galangin, JPS don't
Very,
reach
very drastic.
community yet.
And me I tell us, me have to stand up
Here,
for my father.
This, as his father, the breadwinner of the family, lays on a hospital bed in excruciating pain. The man, a popular barber, lost a hand and a foot, his livelihood now in jeopardy as he may not be able to cut hair again.
Two kidney shut off on him right now. So in a very critical condition.
His younger children, who are preparing for back to school, now in limbo, the possibility of them being ready for September fading day by day. According to reports, utility poles belonging to the Jamaica Public Service JPS fell on him while he was traveling via motorcycle along the main road in Racecourse, Clarendon on August 3rd. The man was electrocuted and sustained severe burns to his arms. His son says the family has been in a state of distress ever since.
Just we alone, I got through it. Just we alone. We are got through a hard time, we are got through a rough time, and there's no one, no councillor, no NP, no nobody.
Residents told the TVJ News that the man was not able to react after the incident. Now, as the son hopes his father makes a speedy recovery, he cannot help but focus on what he described as a lack of remorse from the JPS.
I mean, need JPS to come forth and stop behave as if like say, yo, nothing wrong. You understand? Like it's nothing wrong. Nothing for no one. Need to come forth and make a combine and do things the right way.
The emotionally wounded son says the situation is made much worse as there has been no communication whatsoever from political representatives.
And him did a fighting for his life. You understand? And nobody then, you understand, the councillor, you need to stand up for your resident them. You understand? The MP if you stand up for your resident then. If it was a shooting incident, you would have find out say they would have moved to it drastic already. You understand? Probably crucial thing would have come out of the situation already if it was a shooting incident. So they need to stand up for your resident more. Because right now my father in there and then nobody no come find out our situation be like we don't have no NP.
When contacted, JPS described the incident as most unfortunate. It said the poles came down during adverse weather conditions on August 2nd. The JPS said the primary concern is the well-being of those affected and warned the public to exercise extreme caution when approaching downed power lines and poles. Ramarda Lyons, TVJ News.
we be careful of the danger of JPS. The man has sadly succumbed to his injuries. This is murder by the negligence of JPS. However, in organizational term, they cannot be charged for murder. JPS must be charged for corporate manslaughter. This was negligence. And while the whole political class is having a political orgasm over Clarendon at the moment, this family is from Clarendon too. This family, Andrew Holness, died at the hands of the negligence of the state and its operative, Andrew Holness. While you're having a political orgasm across Clarendon, this family, Prime Minister, Bellevue Minister, this family is from Clarendon too. Police probing data intelligence leak on Cherry Tree Lane massacre. Everything I go backwards. Because when the Prime Minister came out and told us on Monday. Me with an investigative mindset say, yes, sir, the government are only for work with you, so. Them say I one of the shooter this. Yes, sir, the government have all heap of information to work with and the wholeness checking a work. Him all know who already. Then oopsie daisy vaccinary. Prime Minister come out Wednesday and say 25 million for talk. 25 million a news. Yes. And only don't see the Bellevue behavior in it. But JPS, so when I don't know which MP that criminally are linked to them say, I want to shoot at this. I don't know which MP or which politician on either side them linked to, but we know say gangs, law enforcement and politician roll closely together. Anybody say they don't know that? A lie you know I tell you. Just that one you don't know, you just a tell lie. You police them. But finally, Jamaica, these images you see on screen are images that, if used in war, is outlawed and illegal under any international convention. Why? It is an abusive action tantamount to degrading. 1. Sexual and psychological humiliation or torture is not accepted in war. It must not be portrayed on our street. It must not be portrayed in our policing. Most of all, it must not, under any circumstances, a practice in policing, war tactics being deployed on our street under any circumstances must not be tolerated or accepted. Thank you very much for joining us this morning, this afternoon on your At a Glance program. Thank you very much. Like and share the live if you have not done so. If you have not yet subscribed to Global Television, please do so. Thank you very much. What good? May I go to the mango and sunbath thing now and have a good day. Johnny H. How do you do? My question is, why was Jamaican media shut down on the white? Listen here. Which way you talk about Jamaica media? Who you talk? You don't hear we on social media talk about it, Johnny. So I disrespect. We are Jamaica media. Johnny, what you talk about? In Johnny? Come on, Johnny. Huh? Johnny, we are Jamaica media. We are talk about it. Fake news, though, won't see these things, Johnny, because fake news only talk about fake things, you see. Like how you say, Apka fits on his knee. Come out and come tell we say, shut your mouth, shut your beak, shut your goddamn beak, Jamaican for Justice. Shut it up and mind how you speak. Mind how you give strength to criminal. Yes. He sent, Andrew Holness sent, fits on his knee to come out, come tell we, shut your beak. Shut your beak. Shut your goddamn beak. Thank you very much. And good morning, good afternoon from Global Television.